Oh, hey, I didn't see you there. Wait, I know what you're thinking. Where can I get some of that sweet, sweet goods merchandise? I mean, you are right. It is pretty stylish and creatively designed. I'll tell you where you can go get it. You can go to teespring.com. If you look in the link description below, it'll take you to a website where you'll see all the gear that we wear here on the channel. Plus, you'll be, as the kids say, lit while they look at your fit. And that is probably the most disturbing thing I've ever said on this show. Just go buy a shirt.
Malignant.
Hey guys, we don't do reviews that often, but when we do, we make sure that it's a movie that you definitely probably do or don't want to see. It's Malignant. We're gonna review it right now.
That's probably one of the best intros I've ever been a part of in the 6 years we've been doing this.
That's how we do it on the goods. So we both had a chance to watch Malignant, so I apologize that this review's coming a little bit late, but it took them a while to get around to seeing
But it's
Malignant.
October, hey.
Yeah.
It's October. It's horror month. We got to talk horror, right?
Exactly. So when Malignant came out, how did you feel about this? Did you get the chance to see the trailers and stuff like that? Because I saw the trailers. I was really hyped up about it. It was like James Wan was behind it. The trailers made it seem like ominous and was like, what is this thing that's going on with this girl? This creature or this entity that's haunting her.
Yeah.
And I kind of felt like maybe it was entity,
So
right?
so it was one of those where, okay, one, you see James Wan, then you see, you know, all the dark figures and all that. So you're like, okay, it's a typical James Wan.
Right.
You know, Conjuring, Insidious, Dead Silence, maybe that kind of thing. It's like, okay, cool.
Dead Silence.
Hey, that's an awesome movie. Anyway, but you know, it's one of those, like, you know what? Hey man, I'm pumped, man. You know, took a break from Aquaman. He's gonna do this. All right, cool. Let's get it done.
Right.
And then I saw it.
And then we saw it. So, real quick, overall thoughts about the movie before we get into.
Let's talk the goods.
Okay.
We talk the goods.
Okay.
Okay, so go with the goods first.
So let's do goods. So the goods about this film, one is the kills, and spoiler alert, the twist that happens in this film. Those are probably the best things that go on in it. It was like, I would say when the kills happen, you kind of feel like, ooh, what's going on with that? I love the fact that they did a change in scenery when she was trying to understand what was going on.
Visually, yes.
I think they did a great job with that, even with the lower budget, because I could tell they had a lower budget with this one because, I mean, James Wan has been given bigger budgets, but this seems like this was a passion project for him. So they were like, hey, we'll do it for you, but hey, you only get this amount of money. So he had to kind of work with what he was working with, work with what they gave him. So like the transition scenes weren't up to like, high quality standards, but like it was a great play on how they showed her like anxiety and stress in the moment and then had the whole background change. I really love that part of it because it was if you think about Fight Club, it was kind of like the changeover they explained in that, where like, this is my reality, this is your reality, and we both don't quite exist in the same reality. Spoiler alert. Like I said, the trailer really sold me on this. So I thought it was going to be a little bit more serious and
to a point it was.
And to a point it was.
I think
okay. I don't want to get into the bad yet.
Okay,
so
we won't get into the bad
yet. The way they transition between scenes, between who was controlling who, and I would like to say the mystery of what was going on.
And yeah, then that's a good word.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with the suspense aspect of it. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna also go with the kills as well. I think the slow build was, it'll get into the bads, but the slow build was kind of like, it
paid off.
It paid off, but in the meantime, it was, masturbating with a cheese grater.
Oh, God bless. It was a struggle.
It was bad.
And if it wasn't that I love James Wan, that I would not have sat to get to the point where it paid off.
But one of the things that is so underrated when it comes to James Wan's direction is his camera shots, cinematography.
Cinematography.
The shot, the overhead shot of her going from room to room.
Oh yeah, that was great.
Which was not missing any kind of. It was not skipping a beat. It was not any cutaway scenes. It was a straight shot.
Yeah,
it was
your little one shot. Yeah.
And I thought that was freaking brilliant. I thought it was amazing how he did that.
He had some really great ideas in this film.
Great. I love that part. That was one of my favorite parts in that whole thing. The twist absolutely is phenomenal. We'll get into that later.
We'll get into that.
But that was the most for the goods for me.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with all those same things that you had. We kind of did like some pre-show prep, and we were just kind of rambling on about this film, and we felt like we didn't watch it together, but we both enjoyed the same things and hated the same things.
So let's get into the bads.
Let's get to the bads.
And you know what? A lot of the bads or certain things that we're going to talk about after the bads is going to be spoilers. So Terrence, go ahead and put it up. There it is. Spoiler warning. All right, so let's get into the bads. Now, there are a lot of things that could have been better.
Yes.
The acting.
That whole opening scene. God.
It was okay.
I thought I was watching a different movie. Like, am I watching the right movie?
It was a good kind of like a where you start broad and then you enter narrow and then you go narrow and then you broaden it up again. You know, it's a style. It's a certain writing style that a lot of writers do. So from that standpoint, I got it. I understood.
It's like you just throw you into some place and then you're just supposed to kind of like just go with it until they explain it later. And I get that.
Yes.
But it literally came off as like Sci-Fi Channel, movie of the week, and we're just gonna put on a horror film with like, we had 2 weeks to put this movie together. We're gonna shoot it. We're gonna bring a bunch of people in here. We're gonna give them like some last minute dialogue that we wrote. Have at it. I literally thought I was watching the wrong film. I had to wait till they showed the title to realize I was watching the right film. And
but it was a setup. All of that was a setup. You gotta understand that.
It was a setup to an amazing payoff.
Right.
But that was like cheese cream.
Okay.
It was,
and I get it.
It was so bad.
So that leads me into my bads, and that was the pacing of the film. The pacing of the film was much too slow.
It was too slow.
And the acting was cringeworthy at times.
God,
and not to take anything away from Annabelle Wallis, who plays the lead in this film. She was also in Annabelle Creations or one of the Annabelle films.
I want to see her in other things.
Yeah, but I want to see her.
I want to see her in other things.
And I do too. But I just got to see a little bit more progression in her acting and in her emotions. Not taking away from her talent. She's got it. She's just gonna have to. There's a little bit more work there to be done.
I think she could be a great scream queen because, like, when she was selling the stress and the what was going on and she didn't understand it, like her face and the way it came off, and I was like, oh, okay, I really get it. I believe you in the moment, but your acting is so bad. It's so bad.
And because some of that is part of the slow build. Mm-hmm. It really made you even more impatient.
Do you feel like this was maybe done on purpose? Like, what's the one with Mark Wahlberg with the trees?
The Happening?
The Happening.
It won't happen.
I mean, like, the way they acted in that movie was M. Night Shyamalan told them to do it that way.
I don't blame her for it, but I saw that Annabelle movie too. So. Yeah. I'm not taking anything away from her. I like her.
I don't blame her for it, but I blame her for it.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure she played some part in that movie. But anyway, but yeah. So a combination of the acting plus the pace of the film kind of was just kind of how can I say this? It was kind of like making me frustrated. There you go. That's it.
Yeah.
It was frustrating me. So I was like wanting something to happen, and when something happened, it happened, and it was great.
Yeah. Because I was literally at the beginning of this movie like, all right, get to the point. Get to the point.
Yeah.
Get to the point.
And another thing that was kind of bothering me
like the baby scene, I was like, why are we doing this? Get to the point.
Yeah.
Get to the point.
But it made sense.
Yes,
at the end, it made a lot of sense. So I'm not going to take anything away from her on that. And at the same time, I got to give her credit for this too. And that is that, she is playing somebody that's abused in an abusive relationship that was not, it was not, there was no love there. It was a lot of abuse. So both verbally and physically. So I guess her character, there was certain things about her character that was not going to appeal to a lot of people, I guess.
Okay, because it was like she was accepting.
Yeah, she was like, yeah, so I got it. But that was part of the frustration on when it came to the pacing and the acting. Mm-hmm. So go ahead.
All right, so that was a bad. Okay, so like you said, the pacing, we talked about acting. I don't want to beat it to death. But I feel like this movie kept changing what it was. So if we talk about so I want you, if you're going to be something, I want you to be that way from the beginning to end. So when I looked at the beginning of this
But that's
movie,
not fair though, because you got to see you got to have progression.
I mean,
Character progression.
I mean, like in style. So
Okay, I'll give you that.
I mean in style. So like at the very beginning, it's like I felt the very beginning came off campy. I felt it came off very campy and it came off very B movie. So I thought like if this is what you're gonna give me, then the rest of this movie has to be B movie style. It has to be campy all the way through. They get to the first scene after the opening scene before they hit the title credits, right? They get to the first scene, and then we're like dealing with an abused woman. And I was like, well, now I'm down. I'm like, before I was kind of like happy, and even though it wasn't the movie I thought I was gonna see, it was like I can appreciate B movies. So now we went from that B movie aspect, that B movie campy aspect, to something a little bit more serious and something kind of like, okay, is this what this movie's about? Is about her abusive relationship, and like somehow like this entity is involved in her life because of it plays out in and I know what the twist and it plays out in this, but I felt like it went from the first 5 minutes of this movie in one genre to the next 30 minutes in a different genre, and then when we hit the twist it became a different genre in general. It went from B movie to kind of like something serious and dark, then to an action film at the end of this film, and I was like, I couldn't keep on board. Like we're like, what are we doing?
And let's
stay focused.
And
what
now,
are we doing?
And let's tie into some supporting characters like the detectives.
Right.
When you were talking about like it was becoming something else, a different type of movie. Yeah, it was starting to be Saw, like Spiral.
It kind of was.
It was turning Spiral on me a little bit.
It kind of was.
So I was getting kind of like going back and forth. Not that the actors were fine, but it was just like do I really need this much detective in this?
Right.
Like, I don't know if I need this much detective. Like, maybe a little bit less.
I would have felt like if they most horror films were like, hey, somebody died, nobody's investigating it. You just keep moving. And the fact that they kept including the detectives and trying to find out what was going on, and I know they were trying to be the eyes and the voice of the audience to kind of help you kind of figure out what's going on, but they were kind of not needed. They really could have kind of just kept the story going. The movie, it wasn't like this was a long movie, so
no, it wasn't.
I kind of feel like if they hadn't included that, this movie had been only an hour long.
All right, so now let's talk about like the best thing in this whole movie.
All right, the best thing in this whole movie
Let's talk about the payoff.
Is the payoff. And the payoff is that we find out from when they send you on this whole movie mystery about like who is what was the name of the character?
Well, what was the killer's name? It was Gabriel. Right?
It was Gabriel. Who is Gabriel? Like, is it her that's doing this? Is she having like some psychotic break, or is there an actual entity that's like malevolent? And I know it's another movie that's out there that's somehow haunting her, doing these things in her name, that's getting her framed for it. Well, the great thing that James Wan did was actually give us something that we'd never seen before, and well, until we think back to other films like Basket Case
and Brain Damage.
Yeah. So he did the whole thing where like, hey, she was a Siamese twin, and from
parasitic twin she had. That's what I loved about it when they said a parasitic twin.
We gotta look that up. So, but the simple fact that it's like the separation and discarding of the twin itself didn't get rid of it. And it had a grudge that it was still wanting to, like, it had to live its life, and it was living its life through her and its vengeance through her.
Once it was awoken.
Once it was awoken from the abusive boyfriend.
Right, and so that goes to tell me that there was a social message in this where
be abused?
Where there is where abusive relationships can cause female empowerment even more so.
Okay.
And it's a hidden line as far as female empowerment.
Okay.
Because once she recognizes who she is and her taking control of herself, right? Mm-hmm. Even though it's another part of herself, it's still her body.
Yeah.
So anyway, go ahead. I'll let you get into that. I just wanted to throw that.
No, definitely. Where was that? And I was like, so we explained it. So the fact that
parasitic twin.
Yeah, the parasitic twin that was removed to her, that upon being woken, decides that it has vengeance on the fact that it had been done the way it had been done and wants to control the body. So in that particular twist, when we find out how they'd given us scenes where we saw the body doing its kills,
contortions,
backwards and contortion, and the long hair that was in front of the body, where it led you to believe like it's her with her hair in her face. But no, it was her seen out of the back of her head which was a great thing. And I felt like James Wan was sitting down one day and he was like, you know what I got as an idea? What if this person had a twin?
Do you remember
that could see out of the back of its head?
Do you remember
and control the body backwards?
You remember?
It'd be amazing.
You remember Jester from Puppet Master? The Jester doll from Puppet Master,
the blades,
but his face would turn to have different emotions.
Yeah.
He would have different emotions on it. That's what that reminded me of in a little bit of way, because she had there were two separate sides to her.
Okay.
And she had to basically control one side, you know, even though I know it was her brother or whatever, but it was still she had to control that. But before that had to happen, he had to come out and the big reveal. When the reveal happened on that videotape, it was so freaking creepy and awesome
because
at the same time.
The lines in the cranium.
Yes, and it became
splitting apart the skin. And
but I'm talking about in the VHS tape that they're watching from the doctor. I mean, it gave you mad Belial flashbacks from freaking Basket Case.
Okay, yeah.
You know, and it just gave you those. And when you fast forward to the now time when it's cutting between past on archive footage plus present day,
right?
And she's in that jail cell. Oh my God, that's probably, you want to talk the goods? Yeah. That's my favorite part of that whole freaking movie.
It was great, and to see her, like I said, I was more impressed with the fact that it was like, okay, cool, the makeup and design and making the back of your skull somehow imitate a face was amazing, and the simple fact that she had, for what I could tell, and I know some of it was CGI, but it seemed like she had to do a lot of the scenes walking backwards. And I was like, oh, that's a great way to really kind of sell the whole thing, where like she's walking backwards and having to do things backwards.
And that's the part
love that.
And that was the part of her acting that I appreciated.
And I know we already did the goods, but this was also part of the goods.
It's fine. It's fine. But that's one of the parts in her acting that I appreciated, was her freaking body movement and all that. I think that she did more acting and better acting in body language than in actual language. Sorry, Annabelle, but you know,
just don't talk.
But she was absolutely phenomenal in the way that she contorted her body or how she was performing in it. You know, maybe would you maybe compare it a little bit to what Linda Blair did in The Exorcist a little bit? I know some of it. There were certain parts of it.
I can give that. I can give you that. Though I will say, to kind of piggyback that, like the separate voice. Like I said, the movements, the separate voice, that jail scene when she seems like this is not where she wants to be. She's not a fish out of water, but like she shouldn't be where she's at, right? And they're gonna take advantage of it, and she got to turn the tables on them.
Well, the girls are picking on her. They're beating her. Yeah.
So
and it's almost like a Hulk. Like where the Hulk,
it is kind of like a Hulk.
Like the Hulk, and they're getting the Hulk mad, and Bruce Banner's turning into the Hulk, and that's what pretty much what happened with this one.
And I wish that was the only scene like that I had gotten.
But that was like,
I wish that after that scene that
you think it should have been done right there?
We dial it back down and then go back to like single one-on-one thing, but for the rest of the jail, she went on John Wick style. Killing you backwards.
She went John Wick style, but she also went. It was very reminiscent. One, the pool scene in Let Me In. Which, if you haven't seen it, you got to check that pool scene out. But the second reminded me a lot of Terminator. When Schwarzenegger goes in there, T-800 gets in there, and he completely ambushes the entire police department.
So then, once again, I feel like we're making this movie a different movie.
It does turn into something else. No, you're absolutely right.
It turns into
and there are some snapshots. Hey, there are some snapshots where it's the fucking Crow. I just needed to hear some freaking Cure.
So and that's what
the Cure, Devil's Night.
Exactly, and that's where I was like, dude, if you had not been James Wan, I wouldn't be watching this movie any further. Oh my God, James Wan, you are a freaking genius. James Wan, what movie am I watching now? I feel like I just turned that other movie off and I'm watching a different movie.
I'm watching Insidious. No, I'm watching The Crow now. Wait, I'm watching John Wick. Wait.
And that was my only problem with it. It was like I felt like suffering through the first, 45 to 50 minutes of this movie and getting to that twist was I could literally sit up there and say like, thank you. It was worth it. It was fucking teeth grating and like it was like, but it was worth it. And then he said, but nah, we're not done. We're gonna do this other movie. We're gonna do this other movie though. And I was like,
Well, I can't make Malignant 2 right now.
Go.
I'm gonna give you what I was gonna write in Malignant 2. I'm gonna put it in this one.
Go back to solo kills, man. I was like, I didn't need this whole like, because then it said it was like one, not only like I said the Terminator John Wick thing, but also two, she became superhuman, and it was like, what am I watching now?
How about this? Is she being held accountable for this?
No, everybody in the police station is dead.
But somebody has to know the cause, and it's gonna go to her.
I'm sure they got cameras somewhere.
So is this Unbreakable? And now it's part of Unbreakable, and
because it's
he's gonna get with freaking Shyamalan, and they're gonna bring Bruce Willis back with the Beast.
And they left it to where like you could get a sequel out of this because it was like I'll always be there. It was like,
but she is now. If they don't hold her accountable for this, then she is an anti-hero in a way. So they can turn it completely different.
It really becomes the Incredible Hulk at that point.
Yes.
If she bumps her head again, you're like,
Or it becomes something that like I said,
every time I do that, I feel like
a type of superhero in the line of Split, Glass, and Unbreakable, something like that.
And then it becomes something else.
Yes, exactly.
It becomes something else.
All right.
And then it becomes something else. So look, I love the twist, and I would recommend somebody seeing this film. But would I be like, oh my God, this is an amazing movie that you're gonna enjoy? I'm gonna be like, there's an amazing twist. Not Texas Chainsaw. Slumber Party Massacre 3.
I stopped after 2.
All right. So.
Once he became a rocker, I was.
Summer Party Massacre 3 was the one when he got it was male.
Are you talking about Sleepaway Camp?
Sleepaway Camp. There, Sleepaway Camp.
Oh, Sleepaway Camp.
Sleepaway Camp, where they had the whole gender change, right?
Okay.
So that's what it is. It was like you don't watch that film because it's a good movie. You wait for that one reveal, or what's the one? The one that won an award. What about the gender change?
What?
I can't remember. It'll pop in my head later.
You with names, I swear.
Yeah, I know, right? So
The Crying Game?
The Crying Game. You know, it's like where you watch it only for the twist. The rest of the movie isn't that important to you. It's only for the twist that you're watching.
Or when The Sixth Sense came out.
Yeah, I mean, but I feel like The Sixth Sense was still a good movie.
No, it was great. But I'm just saying, but a lot of people once the movie,
twist.
yeah, exactly. They told everybody about the ending.
Yeah, so in this film, I feel like you won't get any enjoyment until you get to the twist, and then it'll be done. And you won't be able to rewatch the movie because now you know the twist, and it's not good enough to watch it again.
I think the where you get full satisfaction of the film is once the reveal on the archive footage comes out. That's one. And then the interrogation scene and the lighting in the interrogation room where it is a dark and blue type of tint in that interrogation room.
Right.
She is freaking creepy as hell, and it takes you back to Insidious.
Once again, great cinematography from James Wan.
It was freaking
great
it was
cinematography
awesome.
from James Wan. Great action scene from James Wan. So if he wants to do John Wick 4, please get him on board, or John Wick 5.
Hey,
something like that.
he did Furious 7, dude. He's done Fast and the Furious, so it's not like he doesn't know
Get him on
action.
board to like some type of action fighting film or something like that, because I feel like he can do it. I just don't feel like it was.
Is Gabriel part of the family now? He's gonna be part of the Fast and Furious. He's gonna come out in this movie.
Are all these films linked with the James Wan cinematic universe?
Okay, Aquaman and Fast, no, but the Conjuring.
Like,
I mean
Conjuring
the
and Insidious.
Oh, hey man, I would.
And then now we gotta add in Malignant now.
Yeah, I would add it. Dead Silence too. You can have them with dolls. Also, Terrence, take us home.
Oh man, which is funny that we did this review because I was looking at our Facebook channel. Our Facebook page, where he says I never checked, but I actually did check it because I posted something. And people
that's why it rained today.
And people were actually talking about watching Malignant. So this is a great opportunity for us to. I might post this first. A great opportunity for us to kind of give our thoughts on Malignant, and they're going to be opposed to what everybody else.
I mean, overall, we didn't even mention that, but overall, I liked the film.
Yeah,
I mean, it was good. Go watch it. If you have not seen it, go see the movie.
It's
even though we just told you pretty much all the whole movie.
It's worth one watch. It's worth one watch.
I'll give it 2.
It's worth one watch.
I'll give it 2 for the jail scene alone. I'll give it 2.
Okay. But if you haven't watched, if this is the first time you're on the channel and you haven't already subscribed, please make sure you subscribe as well as click the notification button so that way you're aware of all the other videos that we do on here. We should probably get back into doing more reviews. I know know if you watch our box,
we'll definitely be doing Halloween Kills for sure.
Definitely.
That's a lock.
If you watch our podcast, when we talk about the box office and stuff like that, we kind of do like mini reviews, but we probably should get back into like a full form review. Maybe if you guys put in the comments below, we'll start doing that again. And last but not least, give us money. Go to our Patreon, go to our Teespring, and
buy a shirt.
Help fund us.
All right. For Aspen and Art, wherever the hell they're at, and Carla, wherever she's at, I'm Manny.
I'm Terrence.
And we'll see you next time.
Wait, guys, are you still here? I'm glad you're still here. All right, so if you look down, I mean, it's somewhere over here. Look down. We actually have a Patreon. So if you guys watch the show and you really like what we want to do and you want to help support the show and you want to help me get an editor so I can get to sleep at night because I'm really tired and you guys see all my mistakes in the episodes. So please go to patreon.com/thegoods. Give us a penny, give us a nickel, give us $1.
Just don't give us the finger.
Don't do that. But make sure you do donate something because we do have some giveaways. There's posters, there's t-shirts.
I'll sign something for you.
Exactly. So take a look, guys, and help us out. We appreciate it.